After an entertaining tennis season full of dominant performances, the 2024 US Open could be the one to remember. The last Grand Slam of 2024 kicks off on 26th August with all the top players in attendance on both the men's and women's circuit. And when the mention is specifically of dominant performances, well, Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, Aryna Sabalenka, all are the best examples. Well, Alcaraz is back where he won his maiden Grand Slam in 2022. He has been on a roll with slam wins at French Open and Wimbledon, coupled with his Olympic silver medal at Paris Games. While Alcaraz was upset in his opening round match at Cincinnati Masters by Gael Monfils, it's hard to think he won't up his level once the US Open gets underway. While he twisted his ankle in a practice session, Alcaraz has downplayed any fears and is confident that he'll be fit for his tournament opener. Now, Alcaraz, who is the number 3 seed at the tournament, is in the same half of the draw as world number 1 Jannik Sinner, and they could potentially meet in the semi-finals at the US Open. Now let's come to Jannik Sinner. Sinner missed the Paris Olympics due to health issues, but he is now back to full fitness. While he's clearly a force on the hard court, Sinner will likely be facing a plenty questions and scrutiny following the revelation that he tested positive for a banned substance during the 2 drug tests in March 2024. As the violation was ultimately found to be not intentional, Sinner wasn't suspended and remains in the top draw as the top seed. But don't be surprised to hear questions about the drug tests, comments from his peers, something that has already been the case, or even heckles from the New York tennis crowd. But when it comes to the on-field competition, if there's anyone who could pose a massive challenge for both Sinner and Alcaraz, it's none other than Novak Djokovic. To say it's been a roller coaster season for Djokovic might be an understatement. After winning the 2023 US Open and then sitting pretty at a record of 24 major titles, Djokovic had big dreams for 2024, but it hasn't gone according to the plan. Djokovic lost in the semi-finals at the Australian Open, had to withdraw from the French Open midway due to a knee injury, and then lost in the Wimbledon final to Alcaraz. But Djokovic got his season back on track with an impressive run at the Olympic Games, defeating Alcaraz in the final and claiming his first ever Olympics gold medal. So now with the elusive Olympic gold finally secured, Djokovic returns to New York with perhaps the most confidence he has had all season. Now Djokovic will be eyeing a 5th US Open title and a record 25th Grand Slam. In the women's circuit, Aryna Sabalenka and Iga Swiatek are the favourites for the singles title. Sabalenka is fresh off the title at Cincinnati Open and will look to ride her momentum in New York, while Iga, the world number 1 and 2022 US Open champion, won a 5th major title at the French Open in June but hasn't lived up to her lofty standards ever since. She lost in the 3rd round at Wimbledon and then settled for a bronze medal at the Paris Olympics. However, despite a tricky stretch, if anyone can find a way to win big tournaments, it's Iga. Now coming to Coco Gauff, well, she's the defending US Open champion, but she hasn't been at her very best in the past couple of months. Now whether she can recapture her New York mojo is something that remains to be seen, but it will definitely be a tall order. Now as far as the Indian challenge at US Open is concerned, Sumit Nagal will be in action. With a relatively favourable draw in the early rounds, Nagal has a realistic chance to advance and perhaps even challenge some of the tournament's higher seeded players. Now what do you think? What are your predictions? Who can really lift the US Open title in the men's singles and the women's singles? You can let us know your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for all the exciting updates and analysis from the sporting world. Until then, on behalf of my producer Shivam, it's Siddharth Gulati saying goodbye.